the OG. Good Captain, I'm good in the hood. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, for the people, man, hold on. We just started talking, and it's gonna start just like that on the podcast too. So I don't think Brandon watches, so he's not gonna hear any of that.
Hear this. I mean, he said he was gonna just hear this episode.
Why just this episode? Why not all the episodes?
I told him.
You know how much work I put in, man. I
told him I was gonna mention him. He said, I'm a reporter. I was like, no.
Don't report it. But for the people that don't know who you are, el hombre de dinero.
No.
Dios mío.
For the people who don't know me, my name is Randol Perez.
What's the Govy?
Yes, that's government. You feel me? Pertenezco a la iglesia Casa Restauración Pentecostal Pastor Nelson Barreto y Blanca Ayala, 330 Iowa Avenue. Yes,
Shout out Nelly.
Yes, sir.
Who came up with that? Was that you or that Angel?
That's Angel.
Oh my God! I swear, Angel's actually the originator of a lot of random.
Bro, yes. He said Nelly. I was like, Nelly.
And it just caught on.
And then he just, that's what I called next time. I was like, all right, man, I'll go to church. I said, what's up, Nelly?
Angel could low-key get in trouble for some of the stuff he initiates.
Yeah.
That's why my dog's name is Chico. He started calling me Chico Mar as a joke, and then it caught on. And then that became my, dream rapper name, and then now it's my dog's name. So now it's just evolved. It was funny. You know that one Muslim dude that comes with Will when we play basketball on Saturday?
The Muslim dude, which one?
You know, I was like Will, and then the dude the tall,
goofy
looking guy.
Are you talking about the one Jerry cooked?
Yeah. He was like Chico Mal. What does that mean? Bad boy? Like I'm saying Chico Mal. I'm like this guy, bro.
Where is the?
But all right, Randol. You know, we're like, bro, what are we gonna talk about with this guy? Because if you know him personally, you know what type of dude this man is. You know what type of time.
Dios mío.
Nah, but bro, okay. Oh,
the dog.
If y'all hear the Chico, just ignore him. Okay,
Yeah.
he wants to be down here with us, but he can't right now. Okay, so with everybody, you know, I have a bunch of questions I always ask. With you, me personally, what I've seen from you is a lot of maturity, a lot of growth in the spiritual aspect, and your relationship with God. So for the young men and women out there watching, can you give us what was the BC Randol, the before Christ? What was this man like?
You know, before Christ, Randol, wow. He was, what I can really say about that guy, era a person who really ain't take nothing. He didn't care who you were. You disrespected him, and he didn't care where you were. Right there and then, you know, stuff would go down, you know. And now I'm growing, you know, spiritually, and I still got a little bit of anger, you know, Omar season when we play basketball, you know. But I'm still working on that. But I was a very aggressive person that I didn't care. As long as you didn't disrespect me, I didn't care what happened to you. That was it.
That's deep.
If we was cordial, we was cordial. But if I found out you disrespected me, if I seen you, that was, you know,
it was up.
It was up. That's how it was.
I know you told us some crazy stories. What was in high school, right? Was there like an internal conflict in terms of like, okay, I know I want to do better, but granted, in high school there's a lot of bad influences.
Yeah.
So what was that kind of conflict like within yourself? Because obviously your mama raised you. You know, I'm assuming for your whole life she was in church for your whole life, right?
My whole life, no.
Okay.
Right? It was a certain when we were in Puerto Rico before we came to Ohio. My mom always took us to church.
Yeah.
But she was never always in church.
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, my mom, she was, before, like, she became Maria Romana, how people know her, and all the spiritual woman and all that stuff. Yeah. My mom, you know, she did her good stuff, like, when she was in the mundo, you know what I mean? But she's always, like,
she always
wanted us to go to church, you know what I mean? But I've seen, like, I know my mom before she was in church, though.
Yeah.
So I've seen both sides.
Okay.
So, but my mom always me and my sister always put us in church, and when she couldn't, she'll drop us off at my grandma's house, W. Antonia. She'll drop us off at church, you feel me? But yeah, She raised us in church, but stuff happens, you know.
No, yeah, life.
Stuff
bro,
happens,
life.
and I don't mean looking back. Then I was naive. I used to blame her and God and myself, because my mom, she had work. She was a single mom, you know. My grandma's old, so she couldn't really depend on her. So she worked night shifts. So me and my sister barely stayed here, and then she also went to church. So me as a kid, and then my dad left me, so I was struggling, like personality wise, I was struggling.
There's a lot because it's like, I know me, and I have a father figure in my life, but I know I struggle with like what does it mean to be a man?
Yeah.
In terms of like
I didn't like
character.
There's kids that like I don't say I don't envy, but I'm like, damn, I wish I had that. Like when kids, you know, get to have that father son love growing up, I didn't have that. All I did have my pastor. That was the only father figure in my life. But you know, you still as a kid, you're like, damn, I miss my dad. I used to blame myself because he left, because I was the youngest, and all that stuff. So, and then I used to be like, damn, my mom loves God more than me. That was my mindset. That was my mindset. My mom loves God more than me, and my dad left because of me. So
it's all kinds of you're dealing with a lot of pressure just from all sides, right? Because you seeing both sides of mom where she wasn't in church, you know, kind of like telling you to do the right things, she's not doing the right things, and then you see this crazy shift. What was like the timing between? Cause did your dad ever come out here to Ohio, or did he stay back in Puerto Rico?
Well, the reason why my father and mom separated, you know, I could talk about it now because, you know, I'm grown now. My father was not faithful, you know, and he wanted to go to New York and bring us, and my mom didn't because she was taking care of my grandma. And then by that time, my uncle had moved to Ohio, so we were like, no, we're moving to Ohio. And then, you know, he threatened to take us to New York, and then, you know, dispute, and then they separated, and then.
And how old are you when that happened?
I was like, when I came to Ohio, I was 6, so I was like 5 years old.
Oh, jeez, that's like super young.
I was 5 years old when it happened, when they divorced, because my dad, you know, he was not faithful throughout the relationship, you know. And I like my dad. I thank God now because he serves Christ now. But back then it was just heartbreaking because without me and my sister knowing it, like we met the person, you know what I mean, that he was unfaithful with my mom with. So it was crazy. But you know, when that happened, when they both slipped, and my uncle came to Ohio, my grandma wanted to come too, so my mom took the decision to come with her. So we left everything in Puerto Rico, and we came here. We started, no money, nothing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's why also stuff like everything started adding up. We ain't had no money. We was walking around for a whole year, no car, walking around everywhere to school, everywhere.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You get to that age where I feel like the teenager years, like the high school years, you start to like the things that happened to you when you were a kid. It's built up so much to where it affects your character. Because I know me at my age, it affected my character. Just little things that maybe I didn't even fully process. You know, you're 5 years old. Maybe you haven't even fully processed everything that's happening with the parents, and like the weight of it kind of slaps you all at once. And then the enemy, what happens is you're in such a impulse. That's like impulse city. You know, when that 16 to 18 years old is like, then you're just trying to act on every single impulse. You know what I'm saying? Good, bad. It's understandable, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that you touched on all that stuff, bro, because what happens is there's a lot of young men out there that, you know, had that similar story. Granted, my mom honestly had the same story as you, right? Because my grandpa, unfaithful. They lived in Chicago. They came to Lorraine. You know, he was doing his thing. My grandma was like, bet, we're out of here. They moved to Lorraine. They moved in with, I don't even know what relative, start from blank zero. Granted, you know, not as difficult as having nothing, you know what I mean, having to walk around, but dealing with that type of stuff, you know, adds up. And even like years later, you didn't fully realize like how much it affected you spiritually. And like for all the young guys, that stuff, it does add up. And that's the type of stuff that you got to pray about and fast over, because what the enemy tries to do is like piggyback on stuff that happens in life, right? So like bad things happen. When you give them to God, he could remorph it into something great. You know, with Joseph, all of his brothers were jealous of him and literally sold him, tried to kill him, sell him into slavery. And God is the only one that could take those bad circumstances and flip them into something good. Versus what the enemy does, he tries to piggyback on it and try to make you then, okay, oh, you dealt with this, oh, your mom was this way and your dad was that way, and now what do you want to do about it? You know, the negativity, all that stuff kind of like seeps in. And the Lorraine culture,
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. That's how it really all started for me. You know, everything built up, you know, and then as I grew up, being here, we were still starting to get on our feet. And my mom, she ain't had the money to afford some shoes. So I would always wear the same shoes every year in elementary. And then until one day I had a breaking point because my shoes broke in school. And these Hispanic kids, because now I'm grown, I don't got nothing against no Hispanics. But when I was little, that's all the people that used to make fun of me were Hispanics.
There's a pride, bro, that Hispanics got. I don't know what's the reason, bro. And it comes. I got made fun of for like the Spanish, you know, like has no sabo right here. That's me. But it's like you can't even try to do better, get better without them finding something to like hound on you for.
And then that's why outside of church, all my friends are black. You know what I mean? Because you know there's the ones that accepted me. You know, in Lorraine.
Respect.
You know what I mean? And then that day I had a breaking point, and then I fought the dude. Oh. And
how old were you there?
I was like 10 years old.
And how many years were you wearing those? How many years were you wearing those shoes?
Like a couple, 4 years.
Man,
but I ain't like, I wasn't known like, oh, your mom I didn't know like people got new shoes every year and all that stuff. So I wasn't like, you feel me? My mind says like, my mom got me these shoes, I'm gonna wear them until
they wear them till they're done. That's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? Till you grow, till the toe pokes out the front or they're worn down.
Yeah, and then that's why I had my breaking point. That's like when I started getting closer to my friends. You know, and then everything went downhill after that one.
So at what point in your life you got this group of people that are supporting you, right? And I know what was like the age that you said your mom, like you felt like your mom loved God more than that she loved you. How old were you when you were kind of feeling that way?
Around that time.
That same time.
Around that time, yeah. I was the whole time I was in elementary. That was how I felt, cause I felt like my mom didn't see like the pain me and my sister were going through. You know, I thought
she was just focused on like making the church, you know,
making
doing
the
that
church
type of stuff,
and working and paying. But like, you know, feel me? Like me and my sister, but like there was days me and my sister had to make herself food in the microwave. I used to make microwave with eggs, like whisk eggs, put in the microwave.
I ain't never had to do that.
Yeah, but I love my
mom.
We
was in crema every morning. Cocoa. Did you ever had that?
No.
Really? You gotta try it. That was like our struggle, but it was like not like oatmeal, like arena, but it's like chocolate.
No.
It's great.
We had that's me and my sister, you know. That's how it was. But
bro, I seen that picture you posted, you guys. You were so tiny, bro. Yeah. She was almost taller.
My sister was taller than me. I did grocery when I was in middle school. I was short. I was a short little kid. So
what I see in that age, right, that version of Randall's like, you feel like, you know, with your mom, how do you turn to her when her focus is you know what I'm saying, work in church? How do you turn to your people when they're the ones laughing at you, making fun of you? Now you got this other group of people that you're confiding in, you know, to kind of feel normal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To have some sort of, you know, you need people around you that you can depend on. Yeah. How old were you when you realized that the dependence on God was going to take you farther and benefit you more than the dependence upon the people around you?
It was a while. It took a while. I was lost. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's fine. That's normal, bro.
It took a while, man. I was going to church, you know, because my mom was taking me. I had no other choice. Mm-hmm. But I was just living a whole different lifestyle. Because
we're gonna get some of those stories here soon, but we gotta post it on the Vice channel because they're crazy.
Yeah, I was living a whole different lifestyle. I really didn't want nothing to do with God. I felt it was like a hole like in my heart. But at that point in life, I didn't think God could feel it. You know what I mean? So I used different things to supplement that hole.
Yeah.
You know, so I could feel better temporarily.
Do you care to elaborate? We'll move this a little bit closer.
No, yeah.
Because I mean, bro, the short, like what you struggle with, it's like the biggest thing to talk about. Because I don't agree with church people acting like they're perfect or like they don't go through nothing, or it's like it's all about showing up always suit and tie, ready to go, like everything's splendid. Like I think everybody needs to be. You need to be a person. It's like, bro, I'm like people don't do things for no reason.
Yeah,
like, I'm not gonna wake up tomorrow and decide to go smoke weed or smoke a cigarette or drown myself in alcohol. Like it just doesn't make any sense, right? Like people do things for reasons. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might look at you and be like, oh, ese Randol siempre está así, but like they don't think about everything that you just talked about. You know what I'm saying? And the effect that has on somebody.
Yeah. Well, I tried a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I tried to fill the hole with supplements. Try to but nothing worked, man. And I don't know. I felt empty.
Yeah.
Trying to put a persona like I was happy. I was just depressed. And then people deal with that differently. Maybe one day you'll get my sister on here and she'll tell you how she dealt with it.
Oh man, we got to. Plus, what we doing?
Yeah. It's like, but you know what I mean? Other people deal with the grief differently. I just try to bottle it up down.
Yeah.
And try to just put more stuff on top of it to hide everything.
Was that also why? Like, do you feel like football, like your sport, was also an outlet for that stuff too?
Yeah, I felt like football. I was free because I used to take out
people.
Yeah, I just did what I wanted to do, and I wouldn't get in trouble with it.
Yeah.
Other than fighting and all that stuff.
Except that one time in the locker room.
All right. Man. Yeah, football wasn't out for me,
Yeah.
That was a good point in my life. It helped me see things a lot clearer when I joined football. And that's when, realistically, I started locking in more with God. Because a whole bunch of stuff also added up to it, which we'll talk about later.
Oh, man, I don't even know how to get there. Like, so with the football, did you have any positive role models within that?
Yes. My coaches.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I don't know too much about the football coaches at Lorraine.
Well, one of them is not the head coach is not there no more. He goes to but head coach Krill, man, he looked out for me like outside of football. He always looking out for me. He always see me down like, you good, boom boom boom. He always talk to me separately, stuff going on personally, like, hey man, you could. He's like that with every other player too. Like if you went there and have no ride to school, he'll personally come pick you up and drop you off at school.
Oh wow. And
Coach Will also, whenever I had any problems, I remember when I stopped playing football, he came to the classroom. He said, he like, can Randall come outside? He was like, man, what's going on, man? He was talking to me, talk like, they was always, worried about me, and I really appreciated that they taught me a lot.
So with him checking in on you, like, do you feel like in that era there was maybe, you can never be fully filled, but that fatherly gap, what I'm saying, that male role model, you know what I mean, checking in on you, seeing how you was, did that help kind of heal certain parts of you that you feel like,
Yeah, for sure. I definitely saw him as a father figure, He was always there. He spent his birthday with us, too, at practice. It was funny because when it was my birthday, I said, Coach, I got to leave. He's like, you going to leave for real? I was like, yeah. He's like, I spent mine with y'all. I was like, no, I got to leave. Everybody waiting for me. He's like, all right. He made me do suicides, but then he let me go. You know what I mean? But, like, I always had laughs with him and all that stuff. It was good,
So what advice could you give to, like, the young guy, kind of like in a similar position, just in the sense of, like, the fatherless childhood, certain pressures, burdens, these things that add up, and now you want to fill the void with things of this earth, right? Because not only, and I'll do like, how they say in the preachings, but almost in parentheses, they just go on things. Yeah. It's like, not only can we try to fill the voids with, drugs, alcohol, friendships, relationships, but sports, jobs, things that aren't sinful, right? Because your football ain't sinful, working a job ain't sinful, but those are things that you can really distract yourself from what's going. You could drown yourself in those things as well. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not about, oh, I'm doing this, I'm okay, or oh, I sit back and, you know, I eat my ice cream and I'm okay, or I watch Netflix and I'm okay. It's like when there's an emptiness here, the thing that you use, you know what I'm saying, to fill that void, nothing's ever gonna fill that void. Like I'm reading through, you know, Ecclesiastes right now on the Bible plan. It's like everything is vanity. I.e., not to say like, oh, what's the point of life because everything is vain, nothing matters. Like, no, that's not what he's saying. Is that nothing will ever serve the level of importance that Jesus is supposed to serve in your heart. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, you could run all the plays, you could play football for the rest of your life, but it's not gonna fill this void that's there. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But shoot.
Yeah, you know, you could definitely, you know, when you're feeling like that, you know, you could look for, you know, it don't always have to be in sin, man. You could, you know, and if you like playing sports, you could play sports, video games, whatever, you know, to help you, you know, distract yourself. Like us, we play basketball, you know, that's our out for us, most of us, you know, but it's good, like, you look for something that's productive, you know, and sin is not, you, like, whenever you go to sin, it's always temporary. Like, say you, oh, I'm gonna smoke a little weed, you know, clear my head. When that goes away, you're still, you know,
still in the same spot.
Yup.
It's like, I mean, shoot, you end up in the same place. So, like, what's the point of thinking you're not moving forward? If anything, you know, in certain respects, you're moving backwards, especially depending on how further you get. You think psychological, physical, your body's building dependency on something. It just kind of gets worse and you may not see it. You know, because problems continue always.
And for most of y'all think weed, it's a plant. You know, people use it for medicine, but you know, when you abuse it and you just let me smoke this many blunts today. Let me do this. You get numb to it. So it gets to a point you're even smoking. You're like, oh, it's not even doing it to me. And then your body, since your body's already craving a drug to feel at ease,
the threshold is a lot higher.
You're gonna want something more and more, and that's why you see a lot of people in the streets, addicts.
Because it just keeps jumping and jumping and jumping. Yep. And that could go for like a lot of things, bro. Because I mean, caffeine. There's just so many things that you could overdo it with. No, whenever I talk to young people about weed, I remember I'd be working at McDonald's and they talking about something. Omar, what does the Bible say about smoking weed? And it's like, well, I mean, if you want me to point out a verse to you that says smoking is a sin, like, you're not gonna find it. You know what I mean? Like, I use the Bible search website. I'm like, drugs. Okay, what is the Bible? There's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that Jesus said, we got to be sober-minded. I got to love God with all my heart, mind, and soul. If you're not all the way up here, how are you supposed to love God the way that he wants us to love him? You know what I mean? And this is why understanding the character of God is so crucial, right? Because if Jesus is the Prince of Peace and I'm using something else to bring me peace, I'm putting something in place that God should be. I'm using, you know what I mean? Like, Jesus is supposed to bring me that peace. Now I got something else that has to be king of my life in order to, and I got to push into, I can only serve one master. I can only have one or the other. So it's like, oh, if I'm pouring into this to bring me peace, I'm pouring into, all those things are temporary. All those things are vain. But Jesus is going to be the one that always brings me that eternal peace. It's like, problems are always going to happen in life. Stress, anxiety, especially as life goes, especially, you know, me about to have the baby, like, bro, you don't think I'm going to deal with more anger, more stress, more anxiety now with a kid? And that's just life in general. I can't, being a Christian don't mean that everything's just going to be perfect. And that I'm going to.
That's something I also want to talk about. People had this picture painted out that if you're a Christian, you have to be the most perfect person on earth. Sorry to break your bubble. That's not how it is. Nah. Us Christians, we go through what y'all, same thing y'all go through. We go through temptation. We sin every day. We sin every day, just like y'all. Might not be the same extent, but we sin every day. You know, we're not these perfect people that always are smiling and never go through nothing. We go through a lot. We just keep it and we just pray to God about it. we don't burden other people. I mean, some do, you know what I mean? That's sad, you know. But we don't burden other people like, bro, I'm going through this, blah, 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 blah. We go like, me personally, I be like, God, you know, help me with this process I'm going through. You know, we go through a lot, and I just don't like this picture that's painted that we can't go through anything because we're Christian. We're children of God.
Yeah, the world definitely thinks as like, oh, like you become Christian and then everything's supposed to be like sunshine, rainbows, perfect, and it's just not the case. You know, I mean, like how you said, we're people,
we're human,
and it's like there's gonna be certain sin that like you get chained to sin by entertaining it, by you yourself running back to it. But there's certain moments, you know, as you grow, you know, Bible says like we're continually getting perfected until the day of Christ Jesus. So like, you know, your threshold, like you're gonna become better at dealing with certain situations. So like the same way somebody 7 years ago talked to you crazy, then that version of Randall would have backhanded him, but the version now might think about back.
It's way different now, you know, even though I still struggle, you know, with the anchors, because I'm human. I'm still going to get mad. Yeah. You know, like, I was having this conversation with my sister the other day about last year's tournament, guys, you know. You know, some stuff happened, altercation, this person put their hands on me, you know, and I got, you know, heated in a moment. Yeah. I'm human. Yeah. You know, like, I was, like, in my mental state, like, it brought me back to how I was. Like, it was that moment. And then after that, we calmed down. You know, I apologized to the person. But I was talking to my sister. I told my sister, I'm like, what do you expect a person to do, right? Just because you're Christian. Do you expect me to sit there while I'm trying to diffuse the situation and get physically hit multiple times? She's like, no, but you could have. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? I
seen a video of a street preacher. And this was crazy. He's just preaching the words, just one black dude by himself and this white guy. You've seen it.
That video.
And he comes up to him and he's calling the N word back to back to back.
And then is that when he pulled out the gun on him?
And then the white dude pulled it. He's holding the gun like to his face. He's like, shut up. He's like, preach the word now. Preach the word now. You right? And I'm telling you, this video is like 3 to 5 minutes long. Like this guy is literally taking death threats 5 inches from his face. Like for at least 2 minutes, that guy's talking. He does nothing. And mind you, he's by himself. Bro, adrenaline builds up. Yeah. Fight or flight response. What do you do in that situation?
It's your physical nature.
You know what I mean? And it's like you playing a game of basketball, and granted, there's the possibility, right? You know, things could get a little bit hostile, especially when you don't know where the other person is at. So it's like fight or flight response, like, okay, I want to be protected. I need to make sure, like, okay. And that's why, like, you know, next tournament I want to have a lot more like male figures there to be there, monitor, step in, and to like facilitate that stuff. Because nobody wants to be in a hostile environment. No. Because when that happens, I mean, bro, like, what do you expect somebody to do? Like in that video, the dude ended up punching on him, knocked him to the ground, and it's like, brother, I mean, I'm not gonna call that guy not a Christian. I mean, sometimes you gotta step up and be that guy.
Yeah, you can't expect like, God got you, but there's some situations that you also got to protect yourself. Like, I also had this conversation with my mom about firearms in the household. And she was like, no, you can't have a firearm in the household if you're Christian. I'm like, Mom. And these days, nowadays, there's people that will run up in your house and kill your entire family.
They'll run up in the church.
In the church and kill you. So you obviously need something to protect yourself. She's like, no. And she just kept going back and forth. I'm like, Mom, there's a lot of people in our church that have firearms to protect their family. She's like, well, they're wrong. I'm like, Mom. And then we just kept going back and forth.
It's like one thing. There's things in life you could kind of deem them as reckless, but it's like, sure, because I want to get a firearm, especially with the baby, the world is crazy. It's like, it's one thing if you have it and self-defense, you're chilling, but it's another thing if you have it and you're looking for problems. Yeah, you're holding it sideways. That's the difference. You're throwing it up in music videos. You're just doing crazy stuff.
That's the difference. I was telling Mom, I'm like, Mom, there's a difference between me waving around like, somebody come in and do something because I'm going to kill you, Yeah. And there's a difference between I'm going to have a firearm in my household and in a safe place where I know I could grab it if there's any emergency. Like, and it's crazy. We had that conversation, and then a couple days later, I'm sleeping, Omar, and she wakes me up scared. She's like, Randall, there's somebody in the house. I'm like, what you mean? She's like, I heard the door open. I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, yeah. I was like, is Blash home? We opened Blash's room. Blash is knocked out. So,
what's the layout of your guys' house? Like, is it all one floor?
No,
How is it?
It's
Upstairs, downstairs.
Upstairs, downstairs, in the
So
basement.
You guys are upstairs.
We're upstairs.
You check blocks upstairs, and I was like, okay, somebody's downstairs.
Somebody's downstairs. So me, I'm like, all right, mom, and I grab this knife. I got this knife like this long.
Mm-hmm.
I take it out. I'm like, mom, stay up here. And she's like, what you mean? I'm like, mom, you woke me up for a reason, right? You said there's somebody downstairs.
Not to just chat about.
You woke me up for a reason. Now you're gonna stay upstairs and I'm gonna go downstairs. And she was scared and she's like, I'm not gonna let you go to jail. I'm like, mom, if there's somebody downstairs,
no, that's not jail. That's
if there's somebody downstairs, I'd rather me be the person who does something than you go downstairs and something happens to you. I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then like that opened her mind a little bit more.
Yeah.
On stuff like that, because I went downstairs with the knife. She stayed upstairs.
I'm about to say what happened.
I went downstairs with the knife. I'm literally on Rambo style. I got boom and the knife facing this way. I'm walking downstairs. I'm going like I'm creeping. Boom, boom, boom. And I check the door, and I feel like somebody did try to get in because we locked the bottom and the top, but the bottom was unlocked and the top was locked. So I was like, that's weird. And my mom stayed upstairs. I checked out the layout. I went to the basement. I was like, all right. And then I was like, mom, just put something in front of your door just in case. And I put something in front of my sister's door. And I just sleeping like this the whole time. You know, because I know my mom, like, she's always this person trying to protect the family. But I'm like, mom, I'm older now. I'm the man of the house now.
No,
you know what I mean? So, like, I have to protect the household, you know. It's not your job anymore. Your job is just to... You know, be a mom and just chill. You know, you're not. It's nobody else but me here to do anything. Anyways.
Nah, it's those things are always like tricky in terms of, you know, I mean, Paul says we got the liberty to do things, and it's like, but is it wise to do something? Yeah. Sometimes it's not about sin, not sin. It's about wise and unwise. Yeah. You know, because with certain things you invite certain problems. Like, okay, I do. Like, you could have the firearm on you, but then are you waving it around? Yeah, talking about like, oh, tu sabes qué, tu sabes. Like, bro, you don't have to talk. You don't have to talk like that.
One thing I learned in my life, if you have a firearm and you're about to do something, you never talk. You know what I mean? You have it there, and when you're about to do something, you do it. Yeah. So every time I'm like, I see an altercation and somebody.
That's the same way I see like videos of people getting fights. The guy that's really about it, quiet, watching. And when he throws, it's usually just one and done, because it's not, you don't waste time. I'm not here to threaten you. I'm not here to think. It's like, especially as like a man of God, you're not gonna sit there and bicker with someone and blah blah blah. It's either a serious situation or it's not. I'm not gonna blow this up more than what it needs to be. But for whatever reason, bro, somebody could come up to you demon possessed. Yeah. And they're strong. They're gonna be real strong. You see videos of crazy people, police, they gotta have 4, 5, 6 people on them. That person is definitely demon possessed, bro. And they got a different level of strength. I'm not about to win this fight 1-on-1. And my mind might be somewhere else. I'm not thinking, en el nombre. Yeah. I'm not about to hit him with that. In the fight, they coming at me. I'm not coming with the. You gotta come with the.
It's definitely tricky for us, especially for us, because if we were Christian, it's easy. Okay, let's go.
Just do it. There's no remorse.
Sometimes we gotta it's tricky. We gotta analyze the situation. If we can die it down, we can. But if not,
and the world's getting crazier. Plus, my mom, she's anti-gun. I remember I would make like jokes about it when I lived there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a gun. She's like, not in my house, you're not. So it must just be that generation. They just hate. But I mean, bro, the world's. If I'm driving in traffic and people are just crazy, you know what I'm saying? And you see the videos where somebody just comes up to the window. What am I supposed to do with my wife and my daughter in the car? Yeah. Right, I want to get one where it's like right here. Yeah. Bang, I got it. Ready to go.
Yeah, no, like, especially like I was just telling Jimito, I was telling him because he wanted one. I was like, bro, yeah, but, just make sure, think about it. You feel me? And he was like, yeah, no, for sure. I need one because I'm going to be a dad. And I'm like, yeah, he got that good mindset because, he wants to protect his family. When you have a good mindset about something, okay, boom. But when you're just thinking like, oh, I just want it because I want a gun.
To be cool, yeah.
If you mean like when you have that mindset.
If firearms, if that's your thing, you know what I mean? For some people, that's their thing. Yeah. Like they educate themselves, safety, and they just like it. Then that's fine. But if you're doing it to be a part of the rap culture, thug culture, street culture, it's just not the not the move.
Yeah, it's crazy because some people they get influenced to get those type of things, and then they're not really about it. you know, and then they get peer pressure to doing something. That's why you
Oh
see a
my
lot of
God.
people that go to jail for murder or something.
Silly stuff.
And then they're like, and then when they ask them, they're like, bro, it was just like they don't even know what to say because I know a lot of people that be fronting, and then when it comes down to the situation, they're scared.
Yeah.
And I just like I was.
That's like you gotta understand like the seriousness of it. Like, it's
I was
really not. It's not a toy. Like it's not something that you're just gonna.
Yeah, I had an argument with one of my cousins because he thinks he's a gang member.
Bandol.
Right, so my friends, they would tell me like, bro, your cousin's trying to get put on.
What does that mean?
Like, you're trying to get jumped in.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And then I was like, nah, buddy, that's not how it's gonna work. And I pressed him about it. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you?
Righteous pressing. We need more of that. Righteous Christian peer pressure. And just
I pressed him. I was like, what is wrong? She's like, no, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, you're not about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I sat down with him. I'm like, bro, if I gave you a gun right now, and I pointed at someone, I'm like, go kill him. Are you gonna do it? He was like, he just started stuttering. I'm like, all right then, you're not ready for that. You're not ever gonna be ready for that. So stay in your lane.
No, but I don't think anybody that ever does that is.
I know,
is
but
ready.
like, at least like how me and my friends grew up.
Yeah.
Like, cause we all got influenced by our friend's older brother.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was the gateway to everything.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then when he passed away, we became like
Y'all felt like y'all was the new.
Yeah, we was the big dogs.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is getting serious. So you were basically a mafia boss, low key. You were running the streets?
Me and my friends, we was doing what we had to do.
I don't want no incriminating evidence.
Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say
No,
nothing.
that's crazy.
We were doing what we had to do. Respectfully, you know.
Man,
and then it got to a crazy point. We was a friend of mine.